Let's look into subdivisions and how they work. Once your model is ready when it comes to the main shapes, everything is blocked in, and you're no longer concepting, that's the time when you should add subdivisions to your model. In this case, we have a finally topologized model from another software, which has everything ready. Now, you don't have to have it fully retouched, but this can also be something like a Dynamesh version or a Sculptus Pro version, which you just want to have a higher resolution on. It's generally recommended that when it comes to Dynamesh and Sculptus Pro that you really don't go above a few million polys. Something like 1 should be enough for most things. When it comes to subdivisions, you can have significantly more resolution. You can really go crazy when it comes to resolution here. And I've in production work with models over 100 million polygons. Now that's not super recommended. It's not very comfortable to work with, but you can easily get above 10, 20 million polys in ZBrush using subdivisions. So we find subdivisions under Tool, Geometry, and here we have subdivisions right here on top. This is the original way of increasing resolution in ZBrush, way before we had Dynamesh and Sculptus Pro. This is the way we used to do it. So we're very thankful for Dynamesh and Sculptus Pro, but it's in no way a replacement for this. So the way we would increase our subdivisions is we go under here and hit divide, or we hit Control D. I don't think I've ever actually clicked this button in my entire life. I have only used a hotkey Control D, so maybe this is a perfect time to do it for the first time. If we hit divide, now you can see that we have a higher subdivision count. And we can now go up and down in resolution. And you can see here what's happening, that the moment we go up in subdivisions, then we get a much smoother result, and the poly count increases by 4. The reason it increases by 4 is that we take every single polygon like this and we just split it into 4. So poly counts are increasing really fast when you do this. So this means now that if you go down to the lowest one and we try to sculpt now, you can see we really don't have a lot of resolution to work with. But if we go up a level, then we can sculpt a lot more with a lot more fidelity. You can see here though that a lot of features don't work with subdivisions. So like if we had Sculptus Pro now, you're going to be like, whoa, you can't do it because you have multiple subdivision levels. This is true for using Dynamesh as well. You can't work with that and subdivisions. The reason is because Dynamesh and Sculptus Pro will actually change your topology. Well, subdivisions will not change your topology. It will purely just add resolution to it. So let's keep increasing this. We can increase this to a few million. For this original sculpt, I had around 12 million. So that's one more subdivision more than this. That's how you can figure out how many polygons you can have. You take this number and you multiply it by 4. So that would be almost exactly 12 million. So now you can see if we go in here, that we get really fine resolution. Like you can really go in here and you can sculpt to heart's content. If we were to, for instance, go in here, set the strokes type to spray, and we want to get some alphas in here, we can easily do this as well, and you can just see like what crazy level of resolution you're getting now compared to before. This is not really possible when it comes to Dynamesh. Also, it's way easier to work with the model as well, because now if you want to go down in subdivision level, you can easily do this as well. You can go up and down using a slider, or you can hit the Shift D key to go down and the D key to go up. So subdivisions relies heavily on the D key. So Control D to subdivide, to add another one, Shift D to go down, and D to go up. This becomes second nature very quickly, and for me this is almost like a part of my DNA because I've done it for so many years. So what if you now want to change the design of this? So you just want to change it, you just want to change the brow shape. Well, now you can go down to the lowest subdivision level by dragging or holding down Shift D and clicking Shift D a few times. BMV, so now we can use the move brush, and we can see we can just move this around, just change him so he looks nice and silly like this. And then we can go up in subdivision levels, and you can see that everything we sculpted on our highest levels has now been preserved. So all the high-res stuff we have here is really nicely preserved. Even if we were to smooth all this out so there's nothing left, then you're still going to see that we have all the nice high frequency preserved. So this is a really nice way of working. We can also delete the lower subdivision levels if you for some reason want to do that. Let's see what happens to the topology when we do that. Now delete lower, and now you can see the topology looks a lot denser. This is because now we're not actually looking at the actual topology, we're looking at the original topology, which was here. So it just kind of adds these like almost ghost lines or halfway transparent lines to it. But now if we hit delete lower, now you can see that it shows the actual level of geometry we have. You can also do the opposite. If you Control C to go down, to go back in history, and then we go down to the lowest level, we can now hit delete higher, which does exactly that. Now we have no more subdivision levels. You are going to be using this a lot. Like, subdivisions is really one of the most integral features of ZBrush. So lower and higher res and delete lower and delete higher res, that's probably something you're going to be working with quite a lot. So what if you receive a model like this? The model has previously been subdivided, but somebody has exported out the highest level for you and you have to get it back, or you did it yourself and for some reason you've deleted the lowest level and you saved the model and now you can't get it back. Luckily, we have a feature called Reconstruct Subdivisions. This is a feature I really wish we had in all sorts of other 3D software as well. So if we click it, now you can see that we actually get back our subdivisions. So we're going to be able to go back as far as our topology actually allows us to go. Obviously, we can't go lower than this because this is the original level. There is no more resolution to go back from here. So it basically just looks at the model and just mathematically figure out where it was. This is something we see a lot in production, where you might have this here is your lowest subdivision level, where this is one which is used for maybe animation, and this here is used for... this is the one which is actually used for rendering. Maybe we have one higher than this. If we go one more up, so this isn't the one which might actually render. So the two models are identical in terms of shape and all that. The only difference is that one is significantly higher in terms of poly count. So we often get these models here and you can't work with them. Like, you actually, you pick up this model and you actually can't do anything with it whatsoever because it's too heavy. Well, then we just go to Reconstruct Subdivs, and now we suddenly have all our subdivisions back, and we can now go between the rendered version and the animation version. So really, really useful stuff. So in short, subdivisions, hit Control D to increase the resolution, hit Shift D to go up and down in resolution, and hit D to go up in resolution.